which we have already signed close to about 125 and 130 as I speak to you today.
Absolutely. Let me now talk to you about that contentious issue as far as gas pricing and gas allocation is concerned. We have seen a decision being taken by the government as far as gas pricing goes. I know that your ministry was opposed to any hike in gas prices. We then heard from the government talking about a difference as far as the input cost and the output cost was concerned. Where do things currently stand as far as gas pricing
let me just
specifically
quickly
for the
explain
power
this,
sector is concerned?
Let me quickly jump into this and explain this because I've got literally 2 minutes before I need to rush to catch a flight. The gas problem has to have multiple solutions, and I have in mind a four-pronged solution. So first of all is the additional allocation of gas, which you very well know, and through you I'd like to inform our viewers as well, that post April 2014, all additional gas for the next 3 years, which means 13, 14, 1.35 MMSCMD, and then close to another 11 MMSCMD over the next 3 years, up till 13, 14, 15, 16, up till 17, will be given to the power sector. So we're talking about an additional close to about 12.5 to 13 MMSCMD of gas. So all the extra gas is only going to come to power sector. So there's no equal priority, none of that stuff. All additional gas to come to power sector. It took a discussion
really
of almost 2.5 hours
coming into play, Mr. Scindia. The questions are being raised about the additional gas coming into play itself.
If you just allow me 2 minutes to finish before you interject, because the information I give you is based on the estimates that have been provided by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, which is based on finds that are already present, i.e. ONGC, i.e. DDW, which are already present. So in the next 3 years, you're going to look at sequentially 1.2 MMSCMD, then another 2.5 next year, then another 3 the year after that, another 4.5 the year after that. All that 12.5 to 13 is going to come to the power sector. That's point number one. That's been already discussed, debated, decided, and the EGOM minutes are going to be out in the next day or two. You're very well aware of that. Secondly, we are looking at a concept of gas pooling, whether on the basis of what the power sector has, which is 27 MMSCMD, plus this additional whatever 12 or 13 we'll be getting over the next 2 or 3 years, whether like in the case of when we were looking at coal pooling, which then became a pass-through mechanism, whether we can look at a pooling mechanism for gas. So that's the second solution. The third solution that we're looking at is really putting in place a zero duty basis for imports of gas. The notification for that I've already got from the Finance Ministry 2.5 weeks ago, and it's in place. So GAIL or any other provider of gas now can import gas at zero duty for the power sector. The fourth is really a concept of peaking power, so to be able to replace close to about 40 to 50 gigs of diesel generating capacity with gas. I'm looking at putting an additional chapter in the SBD's, the standing bidding documents of case 1, on peaking power, so as to have a peaking power policy. So it's a holistic solution of a four-pronged solution to look at the problem of gas.
But has a decision been taken as far as the price was concerned? Because the finance minister articulated after
so on the pricing, as you remember, on the pricing, as you remember, the cabinet has taken a decision at 6.835 MMBTU as of today. Whatever the corresponding price will be in April 2014, which I presume is going to be around roughly about 8.2 or so for the gas that will be produced or will be produced in the future. However, there's a caveat there that was discussed in cabinet that for the fertilizer sector and the power sector, which are regulated sectors on the downstream area, i.e. where the consumers are concerned, we will have to have a special dispensation because any price beyond $5 MMBTU becomes unviable for any company to take on gas as a raw material to produce power.
If I may interrupt you here.
No, you may not, Shireen. Let me just finish, please, before you do, if I may request you. As we speak, I'm working on a paper to look at the fungibility and the possibility of the special dispensation. As we speak, in the next 10 days or so, I will have that ready, and I will try and move that to cabinet so that we can get clarity with regard to the 27 MMSCMD of gas that is being provided to to the power sector at this point of time.
Okay, so if I may now ask you, as you mentioned that anything beyond $5 per MMBTU will make power projects unviable, is your ministry going to move cabinet and say cap the price of gas for power and fertilizer at $5?
If I'm not mistaken, that's exactly what I told you.
So you're going to be telling cabinet to cap the prices of gas for power and fertilizer at $5 per MMBTU?
All that I'm saying is that I'm going to take a paper to cabinet which shows I'm not going to stick my neck out and say $5, because it could be 4.9 or 4.8, it could be 5.5. So don't take a figure from me right now, but I'm working on it as we speak, and whatever is the price that the power sector can afford, I will be taking that proposal to cabinet, yes.
All right. Very quickly, I know you're running out of time. Let me ask you, as far as the UMPPs are concerned, the hope is on part of your ministry to award 2 UMPPs by the end of the year. Do you stand by that timeline? Do you believe that we will be able to get that done now that the amendments to the SBD have been made?
We are still waiting on 1 or 2 clauses that need to be cleared by the Ministry of Law and Justice. We have already cleared the EGOM, we've cleared the interministerial group, so we're all systems go. I certainly hope that the RFP for these 2 projects should be out in the next month or so.
Okay, and you will ensure that only domestic manufacturers will be given preference or will be allowed to cater to these UMPPs, because that was not the case earlier, and companies like BHEL didn't even get a single one when the last 4 were awarded.
Well, I think that's a question that you need to address to my colleague in the Heavy Industries Ministry. I am going to be involved with issuing the RFP. I certainly hope that Indian manufacturers or those that have a PMP, a phase manufacturing program in place in India, such as many foreign manufacturers, such as Mitsubishi, many other companies, Hitachi, that have set up domestic facilities, also will be able to compete in that market. We have a level playing field, and we look forward to competition and at the lowest price. Thank you very much, Reen.
All right, Mrs. Scindia, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for joining us. That's Jyotiraditya Scindia. Several important headlines coming in from that interview. The most important being, as far as the gas price is concerned, Jyotiraditya Scindia going to be moving cabinet with a differential price as far as the power and the fertilizer sector is concerned. Remember, this was on the back of the controversy raised after the government had decided to hike gas prices to $8.2 per MMBTU. Scindia now saying that whether it's 5 or 4.9, it is certainly not going to be 8.2, but he did give you an indication of the kind of prices that his ministry is looking at, and they hope to move the cabinet with that note very, very shortly. So that is the one big headline coming in there. And of course, the other big headline coming in is, as far as the FSAs are concerned, 125 have been signed already, and they hope to do 155 to 160 by the 13th of September. So that certainly is good news as far as the power sector is concerned. So plenty more for us to chew on from that interview. But for now, I hand it back to India Market.
All right. Thanks so much.